Hello, this is the Fifth Star. I'm Jamie.
And I'm a fan of the 2026 NBA champions, the New York Knicks. Let's go! But we are here to review Disclosure Day instead of talk about the Knicks. Steven Spielberg dropped his new movie about aliens.
That's right.
Yep, Disclosure Day. And it's basically about someone who finds out this secret and is about to go tell the world.
Well,
hey,
what was your biggest positive?
My biggest positive was, I think, the cinematography. It
Okay,
always
yeah.
feels good to watch a Steven Spielberg shot movie. There's like this one cool shot that, it's like you're just watching someone looking at it like something on the laptop.
Yeah.
But it kind of like pushes in and then it goes overhead.
I
and it
liked that
flips
too.
And it's like totally unnecessary.
But it makes you want to know, like, okay, how did they do that?
Yeah,
like,
but it's cool. I think the craftsmanship is always like nice.
It honestly, when they do moves like that, though, I think it's cool because it makes you kind of forget that they're on a set. It almost makes you feel like the camera is just a giant eyeball that's kind of like hovering in the scene. And I don't know. It's
like
that
a
makes
virtual
it feel
world that we're
immersive.
looking into. And,
yeah, like it's more immersive that way. So.
Yeah.
I agree.
What about you? Okay.
My favorite part was just like the whole Steven Spielberg like
look and vibe.
Yeah, he has such a unique vibe that feels very grounded in, his golden era of film. Like the 70s, 80s, even some of his 90s films. He made cinema like feel like cinema.
Yeah.
And this movie gave me some of that like nostalgic value that I miss a lot in a lot of other movies. Like nowadays it feels like a lot of movies are just super shiny, super polished. They look really CGI, fake.
There's like
the
no
colors
texture
are too saturated and there's
especially
no texture.
all the like superhero movies and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
And it's like Hollywood has kind of just gone that direction now. And so it's nice to see a movie like this where he's not afraid to dirty the frame. I loved the shot where he like goes up to the car window and it's just covered in rain and we're now looking through the window at what's going on. And he just made a lot of choices that I thought were way more interesting than movies we see now. So.
Yeah, I mean, I do think there were parts of this movie where it felt old school. It felt a little more like classic, like his older stuff.
Yeah.
But then there were other parts that did feel just kind of contemporary. And maybe because it was sci-fi and there was a lot of CG that he still had to do. There are CG animals.
Yeah.
I was gonna what did you think about the CG animals?
Towards the end, it got weird. Like that sequence, it started to feel less Spielberg-y and more modern.
Yeah, I mean, like this is the guy who built the Jaws, right, in the water and like, or the T-Rex and all this kind of stuff. And so to see so much of the animal stuff be like CG and
they look
and it
fake.
Looks very CG.
Yeah, it looked very fake.
Yeah, so I kind of kept getting thrown in and out of like going between like, oh, this feels like a classic Spielberg film.
Yeah.
And then like, oh, this is just like this is what other movies are looking like now.
Yeah. I just had that experience with the animals, I'd say.
Okay.
But what was your negative? Was that one of your negatives?
So I think my biggest negative was ultimately the pacing of this movie.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a real hard time just staying with it. This movie starts off very much like, insider, whistleblower, thriller, corporate thriller type thing. And then it starts to, as the whole like alien stuff gets unraveled, it really starts to turn into more like Arrival in my mind.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
It's more like this like contemplative, philosophical like exploration of like these themes and then really like the plot that was driving the story just kind of disappears almost completely. There were lots of scenes of just people just talking about a theme, not really about like what their character needs to be saying. And so they're having this whole deep conversation about something just to talk about it because it was written into the script. And
that is interesting.
Yeah. And
I kind of disagree a little bit.
Man, I don't know. I really had a hard time staying away for this movie. That's how bad it was.
Oh, wow.
It was putting me to sleep in the third act. And I'm like, that is crazy that this movie is like bringing me to a point where I'm just so bored. It ramps up and then it just kind of plateaus and then it just like fizzles
I
along.
agree with that. I do agree with that.
Yeah.
I think I only disagree with part of what you were saying there, because I actually found the characters were saying things that felt true to their characters. Jane felt like a very interesting piece, just that she has this like very religious background, but then is kind of like going through her own journey of exploration. And it was cool to see how like those things impacted her opinions and perspective on everything. I thought that was really interesting. And then same with him. I also really liked Emily Blunt's character. I thought her character was super, super well developed. But then, like you were just saying, when it started to plateau, I lost her. I felt like I understood her up until this big reveal moment.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, now I don't know who she is anymore. I don't know who he is anymore.
Yeah.
Like I thought I did. And now I just feel kind of lost in the sauce. And that was disappointing.
Yeah, like they start off with some kind of backstory or like a place that they are at. And
they're hinting at it.
Yeah, and then, and this is mainly like Josh O'Connor and Emily Blunt's character.
Yes.
And then when things kind of get to that point where I guess they would transcend into something more or have some kind of epiphany or whatever, it just becomes like totally about these other things that aren't about them. And, it's just like, okay, everything we kind of knew about these characters like totally disappears. Yeah. Really, the whole story disappears.
So that's why the third act is my biggest negative.
Yeah. And I think that because of that, like it felt like to me by the end, like the characters had no depth to them. Like I had no idea. Now Jane, she was the most interesting. She did seem the most grounded, but then she kind of becomes totally irrelevant too.
She disappears, yeah.
Yeah, and then like even Coleman Domingo, and I hate saying this because I love all of these actors. Colin Firth, I thought was pretty solid.
They did a great job, acting wise.
Yeah, like he was good. You're not used to seeing him in this kind of role.
Yeah.
So I really did like them as actors, but I don't think the story helped them at all.
Coleman Domingo was a big question mark.
Yeah, like we get he's so mysterious and all this stuff, and then by the end we still have no idea.
He's still mysterious.
Who he is, how he knows everything he does, and like all this kind of stuff. There's so many question marks.
Yeah.
It just leaves me with so many questions by the end of the movie.
Yeah.
That I'm like, this movie doesn't even try to explain these things.
And that's the problem, is that like I kept waiting for that big revelation moment to be the linchpin of the story that would just make sense of everything. You know, like kind of like my experience with watching Get Out.
Yeah.
There's that one scene.
Oh yeah.
Everything suddenly clicks and it's amazing. I thought that this movie would do that. But instead, it's this big reveal that's really not a reveal at all.
No.
It's kind of like, oh, we already kind of knew that.
Yeah. You see it coming a little before.
Yeah.
And it's also like so generic.
Yeah.
It's just like the most generic reveal in an alien movie.
Yeah, and the aliens looked so generic too.
Oh my gosh. That was my other thing.
I was like, why couldn't you do like a fun new weird alien like from Project Hail Mary, like a little rock guy, like do something different?
Or like this had that vibe in the second half, like Arrival, and we've seen that alien, which is so unique, right?
So unique
and so mysterious and all this kind of stuff. But this alien is like literally
a humanoid.
Yes, like the most generic version of an alien you can think of.
Yeah.
Now, that made me then wonder, like, oh, is this like a callback to Close Encounters?
I was thinking that too. Is this a sequel?
Is it a sequel, And then so I looked it up and it's like, no, it's not. It's not a sequel.
I mean, it could be. It could be.
Yeah. I mean, thematically, I think it is. Like, this is not original to me, but I was reading an article and I think it makes sense where Close Encounters is more Steven Spielberg's like fascination with like the wonder of making contact with aliens.
Yeah.
And then this movie is more about like, and then what would happen?
Yes.
Right? Like once that information
got
out.
world knew.
Yeah. But I don't even think it does that well.
Yeah.
Like it keeps it just focused on these few characters. Do you want to get into little spoilers now?
Should we go ahead and reveal and then do spoilers?
Okay. We'll reveal and then I think there's just so, like at the end, so many things that it drops the ball on. All right. Well, you guessed that I would give this a 3.5 out of 5, and I gave it a 2.5.
We both guessed what we gave
Oh,
it.
wow.
I couldn't
3.5. I thought you were going to give it a 3.0
listen.
or a 2.5.
I thought you were going to give it a 3.0. I did not think you were going to go below a 3.0 just because the first two acts were to me, the first two acts were so good. Like, I was having such a fun time. I thought the action was fun. Them, like, climbing onto the train. I
think the train sequence was good. That was probably my favorite part of the movie.
It was so tense.
It was good.
I was like,
yeah,
I can't watch this. And then her panic attack was phenomenal. Like, Emily Blunt did such a good job. Like, I've experienced panic attacks, and I used to get them all the time. And, like, her execution, I was like, yes, this is exactly what it looks like and what it feels like. And she did not overdo it at all. It was great. So I really was jiving with it. And I really liked that they kept hinting about her ghost, like the dreams and, like, you know, her dad having Parkinson's and stuff. And this is kind of spoilers, but basically, none of that ends up mattering, like, at all. And I was just very annoyed that none of that mattered.
Yeah. So, you know, again, spoilers. The big reveal is that they were both abducted, right?
Right. I thought they were going to be brother and sister. Because Hansel and Gretel are brother and sister.
Oh, okay. Yeah. With all of that becomes like, okay, so I guess they imbued them with some kind of power that lay dormant.
Yep.
And Josh O'Connor's character kind of makes sense. Like, he's able to, like, understand and decipher things like numbers as if it was language.
Yeah.
And so that helped him be a good coder and all this kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
But then Emily Blunt, like, she has, like, no manifestation of any powers. And then one day she sees, like, a cardinal.
Right.
Which triggers that.
Which that's what happened to Josh O'Connor's character,
okay,
too.
But they say that the aliens are revealing themselves as animals.
Yeah.
So that, or presenting themselves as animals so that it doesn't freak them out. Right.
Right.
How did an alien fly in through the window and sit on the thing and then fly out when it got shooed away?
Magic. So much of their technology and everything was angry. Like magic. Like the wand, we have no idea what it's capable of.
Well, yeah, I mean,
it's magic.
Yes, it is magic, and you kind of see like, oh, you can get in their mind and control their body. That kind of made sense. But then when it comes to her like powers, okay, so she can speak other languages, but then she can also see, like, read people's minds and look into their memories and know their deepest,
Coleman
darkest
Domingo
longings.
explains it. But his character says that Josh O'Connor's power is about communicating with the alien species.
Okay.
Her power is about communicating with the human race. Basically, she's empathy and he is, math. But, like, by their powers combined, they are able to, like, effectively communicate across platforms.
But how does she communicate and know all these languages?
I thought it made sense because it's like she is basically the human communicator, and like that's like
so they
her role at the end.
When they abducted her, they downloaded her with all the known human languages. And then also gave her the ability for like telekinesis and be able to like read people's thoughts.
My assumption, they don't explain this, but my assumption is that is how their alien race like communicates with one another, is that they are able to like read each other's minds and like have empathy for one another.
But they do have a spoken language.
Yeah, and then I guess they also like can still communicate out loud, but it's kind of like in Pluribus. That's like what I was thinking about. Okay. Like her power is kind of like a pluribus power. That makes it make more sense for me. Where it's like, okay, they just gave her the ability that they have naturally.
Okay, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess. It still feels
bothered you.
So much of a far-fetched thing. And then also like, why did they choose them? I don't think they ever explained that, right? And also,
they
like,
don't. It did feel kind of random.
Yeah, and also it's like, okay, so if she becomes the human ambassador for empathy, which is like, in talking about themes, that's the main theme I got.
Right.
Like the way the movie ends, listen. It's like, oh, so profound.
Yeah, I was annoyed by that. I was like,
okay, like, I get that that's the thing you're trying to say. And then it's like, kind of interesting. World War III is going on in the backdrop. And it's like, oh, okay. Like, so we need to listen. Otherwise, we're going to kill each other. But I guess we need aliens who give someone a superpower to be the savior of humanity. And I, I don't know. And it felt so kind of insignificant. Like, it's called Disclosure Day. And then you get right up to the point of disclosing, and then you don't even get to see humanity's response to it.
Well, I was just about to say, I thought the movie was going to end with, like, this is Disclosure Day, and it was just going to end. So I was actually pleasantly surprised that they went on and, like, had the news reporter, like, reacting to everything live. And it did kind of make me think, like, okay, if this actually were to happen, like, how would humanity respond? We would all be, like, on our phones, like, what the?
The other theme that was interesting is, like, if you found out the aliens really were real,
Mm-hmm.
and you had classified, access to that information, would you steal it and disclose it to the world to know?
Yeah, which I'm glad they had that
Yeah.
discussion.
Like, would you?
I don't know. I think that's what makes it interesting and why I didn't care to see beyond what they showed us. Like, I didn't really need to see what humanity did afterwards, and I hope they do not make a sequel.
There's no way they're making a sequel. This movie...
like, if they were to, it would just be, I think it would just be dumb. And so I'm glad that they didn't show what happened afterwards.
I guess for me, like, there's just... You're kind of waiting for the shoe to drop, and then, like, so the other part of it that really annoyed me was they get to the point where it's like, oh, they cut the power and all this stuff, and then, like, she turns it back on, and then Colin Firth just stops, and it's just like, I guess, sitting there in awe. Even his like minions come up to him and say, "Aren't you gonna stop her?" And he just doesn't say anything, and they go, "Okay, fine, whatever," and then they just leave. Like, what?
Yeah, I agree. It was
That was so stupid.
It was kind of dumb. There was part of me that got it because I was like, okay, Colin Firth is giving up here. Like, and he's maybe finally listening to whatever Coleman Domingo had kind of told him earlier. And maybe he's just like, fine, we'll let humanity figure it out.
Yeah, so Colin Firth, like, he represents the perspective of this is too dangerous to reveal to people. People can't handle it.
Yeah.
On the other side, Emily Blunt and Josh O'Connor believe in humanity, right? And so they do disclose it. And I think I want to see who was right. I think I want to know, is humanity strong enough to come together? Is this something
I think that's the question the movie's asking. Is like, do we think that humanity is... I mean, Jane's the only one who changes her mind. I get why Jane changed her mind. I don't fully understand why Colin Firth's character changed his mind. Yeah. So I see where you're coming from.
Yeah. Like, it's meant to spark a conversation.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And yet, I felt like even the themes that it's bringing up weren't, like, developed well enough that it gives us really much material to think through. Like, I could talk about these themes without having watched the movie at all, because there's nothing in the movie that makes me want to think differently about anything, right?
Yeah.
It's just raising the question or raising the topic.
Yeah.
But there's nothing in the situations that plays out in a way that's like, oh yeah, like, maybe humanity does tear each other apart, and this isn't a smart thing to reveal. Or maybe, like, we do really need empathy, and it can only come from some external, divine, extraterrestrial type source, because clearly humanity has not demonstrated the ability to do this. Whatever it is. But, like, the movie kind of ends with just, like, posing the question. It doesn't give you any point of view, I think. I mean, you have, like,
other than Jane's. I think Jane has a...
Yeah, and there is some interesting things about, like, statements about religion tied in with this, because even Emily Blunt is like, I don't want to be anyone's religion.
What bothered me most was that she had a ghost, which was her dad and his Parkinson's. And they kept mentioning that, and they kept, like, even during her most traumatic moment, she was like, I left him. And I'm like, okay, we're definitely coming, we're gonna wrap around on this. And then they just never really addressed it again. And I was kind of, like, expecting the dad to be in that scene with the butterfly room. And he never showed up. And I was just kind of like, why did they keep mentioning that? It feels, like, really important. And the same thing happened for O'Connor's character, because he mentions, like, I can't remember anything before age 10.
Mm-hmm.
And so you expect us to get a reveal about what his life was like before age 10. Like, what happened to him besides the kidnapping? Where is his family?
Yeah.
How has this impacted him in a deeper way? I don't know. They should have focused on that.
Yeah. I think what could have really helped this is that they just had picked one of the two and have that one protagonist.
Yeah.
Like it starts off as Josh's story, and then it totally switches to Emily Blunt's story, to the point that like her like epiphany comes because they went through all this effort to rebuild her childhood home to trigger her ability, but like they didn't do that for Josh.
Yeah,
You know? Like he's just like jumps on board her journey and
Yes.
grabs on the rod, and then
Which is
he's,
why
like,
I thought they
whisked
were going to be
away.
siblings.
It did feel kind of like it was setting up for that kind of moment.
Like, this was also his home. I kept waiting for that moment.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, you guys have been siblings, and for some reason you were separated after this weird alien thing, and oh no, that's why Josh ended up in prison, because he ended up in a bad home, or I don't know. But I think, hot take, Spielberg is a great director. Spielberg is not a good writer. All of the movies that he wrote or did the story for are probably some of his weakest work.
I mean, I also think David Coep, he wrote some great stuff, but ever since then, like, just hasn't done anything great, you know?
Yeah. I don't want to hate on this too much, though, because it is original IP, and I really want to encourage more movies to be original. And I was really enjoying myself, and it wasn't until the house and the weird animals that I was like, okay, I'm out.
She really becomes like a different person.
She does.
Totally gets into this glazed, like,
she becomes an alien.
Yeah. And she loses all of her humanity.
Yeah.
And
ooh.
All right, well, even though we didn't give it 5 stars, what would be your 5-star scene?
Oh, the panic attack train scene.
Okay.
It was just really, like, she killed it. I thought her acting was really good.
I think for me, it would probably be the scene where Jane is in the house alone, and then Colin Firth is like hacking into her brain.
Oh,
and she's just like has no idea what is happening. That whole like power dynamic, it was like really well done.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
So how are we gonna decide?
I think my scene's better.
I think my scene's better.
But I'll give it to you, because even finding that scene was kind of a struggle for me. I really, I don't think there was really any part of this movie that I was really that into. Tell us what you think.
Comment below and like and subscribe.
And join us next time as we continue our quest for the 5th star.